Hey guys, JHoyt here. Before this video gets started, we've been making the push and reminding you guys every single video that if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. The vast majority of you guys are not even subscribed. So if you guys are enjoying the content and if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing, please hit the subscribe button down below. Turn on those post notifications so you never miss an upload. And don't forget, you can always change your mind later. With a big trade that's been in the works for some months now, will this put us to the next level? What's going on, guys? JHoyt back with you today. Welcome back to episode number 17 of our franchise mode with the Detroit Red Wings. Now, we've been up and down, right? We've had our losing. We've rebuilt this team. We've got some good young talent on the squad. We finally, and I mean finally, acquired some big named talent, right? We brought in Hannafin, we brought in Ekblad to bolster our blue line. We have a good goaltender that's a little bit underperforming, but I'm hoping, once we start getting in the winning ways that he'll, become more consistent and we'll stay in that winning column more often than not. But today's video is going to be a good one, right? We have a big trade that we're going to make, and we're announcing some changes to our coaching staff. So let's start with the coaching staff first. So right now, this is our coaching staff. So we actually had to fire our current head coach, right? He's making $1.5 million, or he was making $1.5 million. And in order to have money to actually get anyone else, we had to fire him, right? He was just making too much money for what we needed, and now we're gonna move past that, right? It's not like we were going in a good direction anyway. So we put our assistant coach as our interim NHL coach, and we have offered a contract to one of the free agent coaches that will fit our scheme and our team very well, with the exception of one player, but that player I've been thinking about trading anyway, but no, that's not going to be the trade. So if you guys see, there's actually another coach for the AHL as well, so those will be popping up in a couple of days. But to start out this one, I mentioned it before, we actually have a big trade to announce, and this one's been in the works for a while. So here is our first trade, and yes, it's gonna be a big one. So we have one of our, I guess you'd call it, staple players, Anthony Mantha. He's gonna be going out of the lineup and going over to the New York Islanders in this one, along with Jason Zucker and a couple of picks here. And if it looks like I'm getting scammed in this one, it basically is. So if you look at the trade values down below, if you look which side is on this side with our trade value, yeah, that's a bit higher than the other one. But so we're giving up Mantha, right? He's 31 years old. He's got $9 million on his contract, 6 years left. And Mantha, with that contract, when we signed him to that, we wanted him to be that number one guy. And when Raymond came along and kind of outperformed him and took over that spot, then we kind of have to do something with Mantha. So, that big of a contract, you want your superstar players to have that, and he's not been there, right? He's been up there, but he hasn't been that superstar right wing that we signed that contract for. So we're gonna move on from him in this case, right? Get rid of that big contract. Plus, we're gonna need some money to sign some players this upcoming offseason as well. We're gonna be sending Jason Zucker as well, the one player that I'd love to keep around at any other day, but again, get rid of some cap right now with a team that's not really performing, and that means Zucker is gonna have to lose his spot on this team. He is 33 years old, $3.5 million. He's a pending UFA after this year. And, with this deal, we're going to be getting a little bit younger as well. So we have a second-round pick going back as well with 2 third-round picks. And like I said, I feel like this is a huge scam with the trade value. But either way, all that is going to go over to the New York Islanders in exchange for, I think it's Oliver Wahlstrom, who is a top 6 young forward young right wing, I should say, 85 years old, 85 overall, 25 years old. He can play right wing and center, and he's going to fit our team on that second line, which is most likely where he's going to be playing. So he's got good stats all around. He's putting up 40 points, or I should say 39 points this year, and in 42 games. So that's pretty good, and his contract's pretty good as well, right? $4.5 million, 3 more years on it. So we got him a few more years to kind of see what he's going to develop into, and he's got that top 6 high potential. So I'm hoping he grows with us just a little bit, gets up to that high 80s overall. And as well in this deal, we're going to be getting Brandon Tanev, 4th line player, going to be down there, probably taking over on the penalty kill as well. So this is going to be the trade, and I actually already know it's going to go through just because I did a little bit of research this time and did it. So this trade goes through firsthand. Like I said, I don't really want to do it for all of our, not all of our draft picks, but a good portion of them, for this upcoming draft. But I feel like it's a huge scam, but either way, we're going to make this go through. And let's go fix our lines and show you guys what else we're doing. So following the trade, this is how our team's going to look. So we're keeping the same top 6 for the most part. Barron's going to move back down to that 3rd line, right? He just didn't really perform any better on the 2nd line. So we gave him a little bit of a chance, with a slumping Mantha, and we'll leave him down there on the 3rd line. For the meantime, as Wahlstrom comes in, plays on that 2nd line, and we're going to see how he does. Then Barron moves down. Like I said, Tanev moves right in and fits almost perfectly on that 4th line. So he got put into a lot of the penalty kill situations, and Wahlstrom got put into a lot of the power play situations. So, with that, we're going to keep everything else the exact same for now, and until we get that new coach, and then I'm going to kind of see what his scheme is and everything, because it looks like he's going to match pretty perfectly. And once that happens, we'll probably make a trade and probably get rid of Cider, because he is just, with everyone else, it's just, there he is right there. He's going to accept. So, we'll see where that brings us, and let's go make him our head coach. So with the new coach in play, we actually look pretty good. A lot of more guys are fitting our scheme really well. So that's where we're going to continue off for now. And actually, I'm going to keep Cider for right now, right? As I got thinking, once we get towards the trade deadline and we start to look for, just some help and some extra and, stocking up for the playoffs, maybe he'll get thrown into a deal for one of those. So, we'll see where he wants to go from here, but from now, we're going to get up to that trade deadline and see where our team is heading. So I don't think I mentioned it before, but I'm pretty sure I said it in last video that a lot of our team's problems revolves a lot around underperforming players. So, with the Mantha trade, we added in some goal scoring, right? Wahlstrom is performing better than Mantha, and he provides a sniper, more offensive-minded player onto the squad that Mantha just wasn't bringing us. Plus, he's younger, and better contract, better financially, and everything else. So let's get up here closer to the trade deadline and see what we want to do. So we still remain close, right? If we win some, most of these games here, or at least get points, our division is so close that we definitely have a chance. So we gotta keep looking out for that. These overtime wins, although the overtime loss definitely hurts us, but also we get a point for it. So, we've gone from 4th all the way down to 8th in our division just in like 1 week. So, we're close, right? And it's so hard not to give up or to stock up for the playoffs, especially when we have a really good chance to get into the playoffs. So let's simulate this Vancouver game and see what this brings us, and see if this is any sign towards what it's going to be. So a 2-1 victory for us. Great, who is the 3 stars? Lukin and Kopaka gets a goal in there, and we win. So that's perfect. So let's go take a look at what we are sitting at and see what we want to do heading towards the playoffs. So we're back and we're at the trade deadline. And yes, we have a massive trade on your screen. Now, let's just be honest. Do I want to do this trade? No. But I feel like we could get a lot more for Murray and Seider. But in this case, it helps us out. It helps them out. And hopefully it helps us, make our team go to the next level. So this trade, we're sending Murray, who's got a couple years left, at $4.5 million. And one of the big reasons I'm not so quick to get rid of him, but if you look at our defensive core right now, we have a lot of defensemen that are all performing really well in the AHL and are ready to take that next step. So, we have Wallander, who's already a 84 overall at 23 years old and performing great. So, maybe we'll bring him up. There's a couple other guys down here that are all performing super well. So, I'd like to give them a chance as well. But, Murray is going to be in the way, especially when we have him and Lindholm up there as well. So, we need another really good left-handed defenseman. Once Lindholm comes time to retire, we decide to get rid of him, then we're going to need someone to fill into that spot. So, we got to look forward to the future, but also focus on right now. After checking, after the last cut, I went and checked what Seider wants for next year, and he wants like $8 million. So, yeah, we're not going to be able to do that. So, even if we restrict him and give him a qualifying offer of 2.5, he's only at, 82 overall? 83? 82. So he's performing decent, but we're not going to be able to re-sign him. So, we're going to have to get rid of him in this deal, Murray. So that's going to clear up some cap as well and match the salary for, what we're getting. Kopaka, again, on the fourth line, not really doing too great. And, it's just time to get rid of him. A couple of 7th round picks. Those are extra. And we're going to be getting Steven Stamkos, obviously real life Tampa Bay captain, performing very well. I'm not exactly sure where he's going to fit into the squad quite yet, but we're going to make a spot, obviously, for him. So that'll be a thing. Then we getting back a right-hand defenseman who's performing decent, and, depending on who we bring up or we bring into the lineup, he's just there as an extra body. Mitchell Stevens, who we've got originally on our team, we're going to be getting him back, both pending UFAs, and just kind of matching up the body. So the 7th round picks probably won't work, but we'll see what they're doing. So, all right, we're going to have to send a little bit more on the draft pick side. So here's going to be the final trade that goes through. So we have Murray, Seider, Kopaka, and a first from down the line over to Arizona in exchange for Stamkos, Green, Stevens, a 3rd and a 4th round pick. And I feel like I'm getting so scammed with this, right? Two NHL defensemen, one that's relatively young and, probably going to get a little bit better, but still, that all in a 1st round pick for Stamkos, who's going to be a rental for us unless he wants like some great deal, but probably not. But this is all rental, basically, plus a 3rd and a 4th. So I feel like I'm getting scammed, but either way, this is how you get something, worth quality. So this will go through. Let's send it through fully. So now we're going to have to go figure out where all these guys fit and potentially bring up some guys. So I accidentally clicked propose trade before I even came back. But long story short, the trade is one of our AHL defensemen, Addison, who's a right-hand defenseman and a center prospect that we don't really have any interest in signing, over to the New York Rangers in exchange for Jacob Trouba, who is 85 overall pending UFA this year. We made them retain half of his salary since he was making $8 million. So we're getting him relatively cheap. I don't believe anything else was in this trade, but we're definitely getting some depth here. And not even depth, but we're getting a good right-hand defenseman to play on our bottom pair. So after all the trades and everything, this is going to be our team to lead us, hopefully, towards the Stanley Cup. So we got Steven Stamkos, of course, on that first line with Larkin and Raymond. Zadina moves down to that second line with Wright and Wallstrom. That means Bertuzzi moves down to that third line for Kempe and Barron. And then we're moving Sam Steele down to that fourth line because he's just not performing as well as we need to, and the rest of these guys are. Tanev and Veleno are both there as well. On the back end, this is how it's looking, and oh boy, am I excited. So we moved Ekblad down to the second line only to balance out Hanifin and Ekblad, plus Mann's performing pretty decently as well. Wallander fits in on that second line due to a struggling Lindholm, and Trouba moves down to that third line. So unfortunately, he doesn't fit into our scheme too well, but I'm really not that worried about it. So as well as our goaltenders, yes, Nedeljkovic no longer here. We sent him down to the AHL, and he actually got claimed on waivers. So we picked up Tuukka Rask as a backup. He is not nearly as good as you probably think he is. He's like a high 70s or something overall. So we brought up Dostal and got him. So we'll keep him for now. Hopefully Dostal can bring us the magic, as there's Rask and Green. So hopefully these guys can bring us home a championship and get us to the playoffs, because we made some massive trades, and I'm looking forward to it. So we're not going to do any other signings right now, or trades or anything. Dostal is an extension because he doesn't want any money, so might as well keep him if he's performing. So let's get through the trade deadline here, turn on injuries, and let's continue on with the rest of the year. So injuries are on, and if you look at that bottom half there, a couple of those teams actually got some more points than I expected. But we currently sit in a decent spot, right? We should have where's the wild card? I guess wild card doesn't matter right now. Maybe we'll have to focus that later on. But injuries are on. Let's go relatively slowly here and see where we fit here. So all right, we'll go to the middle of, March. And see how we're doing from there. So we got our new squad in here. Stamkos is in there. We brought up Wallander, who was performing really well down there. So got Dostal up here. So we have everything we could possibly need. And of course, injuries. So let's go bring up somebody, and hopefully let's continue this run. Let's keep it going, and we're on a good streak. Not to jinx it, but let's keep it going. That's a 5-game win streak right there. And then, of course, it does that. So let's put Stamkos back in and look at the standings. Let's keep this going. 75 points. This is exactly what we needed. Ooh, okay. So our starting goaltender in the NHL is injured with a torn hamstring and is out for, I think that's 2 months. So this is gonna get interesting. So it's gonna be Dostal's show to continue this one going. And, I have faith, right? I want to say I trust him fully, but, we put all of our eggs in one basket for this year, right? We went out and got a lot. We gave up a lot. And, we need to continue that. So let's take a quick look at the standings here. Let's continue this on here. So we have 10 games remaining, and we sit at 77 points. So we're actually a good distance above, actually we're a few games ahead of those next teams. Plus, we're only 4 points behind the Lightning, and we're only a few points behind the Sabres from there. So most likely we're not catching the Senators or the Maple Leafs, but we have a chance to catch the Sabres and the Lightning. So I'm excited. I mean, like I said, we are in a really interesting spot now that Luckinen went down, but he wasn't performing that great anyway. So are we really missing that much? Not exactly sure here. So let's simulate a couple more games here. We'll go in between that Boston and the Montreal game. So we got to get there, right? We need to win these games, get into the playoffs as early as possible with as least injuries as possible. And, we need to get there. Oh, we're tied with whoever's right above us here, the Lightning. We were tied at least a couple of games. So we beat the Lightning. That's a huge win. Wait, are we already in the playoffs? Did we already win? I hate how slow this thing scrolls through. Let's see next one. Are we in? No, we're in a wild card spot. Okay, but still, we're okay. We're, again, really close games here. Really, really close. So loss. All right, we're going to have to go game by game here. Right? It's every single year, it seems like. So we're, 4 games out from the end of the year. We have a game in hand on the Bruins. I don't feel like the Canadians can catch us. unless they won out and we lose out. So we sit in a wild card spot yet again. Let's continue it on here. Florida, they're at the bottom of our division. Hopefully this should be a win. So don't really care. I guess just replace that player. Big win there. All right, we're going to keep going here. 88 points. We sit 1 point behind the Lightning. And we do face them up here, right? That's going to be a massive game. Another win. And we're in. We are in. We are once again in the playoffs. And of course, it has to be down until there's 2 games left. But we are officially in the playoffs. And we have a good chance here to not be the 8th seed going in. So, big win versus the Lightning. It does secure the Lightning a spot in the Stanley Cup Finals. So, I believe... Okay, so there's still a battle over there in the Western Conference. But as far as the Eastern Conference and as far as the Detroit Red Wings go, we are officially back in the playoffs. And I believe we can stay 100% ahead of the Lightning. So let's finish this out strong and with a big win versus Pittsburgh there at the end. Now, like I said, we made a huge risk going for Stamkos, made a huge risk trading away Murray and Seider. And, of course, with our starting goaltender out, we turn to our, technically our AHL starter this year to bring us home into the Stanley Cup playoffs. So, of course, let's wrap up the regular season here and see who we're going to face in the first round of the playoffs. So let's go down here, look at our forwards first. So Larkin takes home the point per game total as well as Stamkos did. How well did he do with our team? Point per game as well. So point per game for the whole season for him right there, 76 points. Zadina and Bertuzzi, similar numbers. Wahlstrom, how good did you do since you've been here? A little under what I wanted him to do, but still pretty good on the year, you know, for that second line player. Raymond, huge disappointment of a year. I expect him to be up there, you know, top performing our team. So maybe we'll have to see what our team's going to look like next year. But yeah, we need him to get back up there to that point per game, up in those 70s and even 80s overall points. Good year for Barron. I mean, almost 50 points in 80 games, you know, moving around from the second line to the third line. The only reason we kept Kempe, by the way, was because he's just too good not to get. But we're most likely going to have to give him up after this year. Yeah, we're not going to be able to probably get him for $2.5 million. But hopefully there's some other good deals that we can get to once we get into free agency after this playoff push. Tanev did okay. Not really focused on his performance as a fourth liner. But here it is, though. Hanifin, 59 points. That's why we got him right there. Almost 60 points on the year. Ekblad, pretty good performance, you know, playing with Hanifin most of the year. Trouba being there as well. Man, Lindholm moved down to that bottom line. And then Wallander, you know, not a horrible, but obviously I'd like to have a little bit more out of him. And wow. So Dostal came up. He performed exactly how we want him to. And it also looks like Luukkonen was performing pretty well. So, you know, we might end up trading him, but you know, we'll have to wait and see for this upcoming offseason. You know, Rask came in, performed pretty good as well. But let's go take a look at the team stats and see where our team fared versus the rest of the league. So we ended the year in 14th overall place in the league with 94 points, with a final record of 43 and 31 with 8 overtime losses. So, you know, it's something. It's definitely an improvement, but, you know, obviously I'd like to win a little bit more convincingly. So we are number 14, so we have 282. Is that towards the bottom? Okay, so it's close to the bottom, that's for sure. But yeah, we need to score some more goals. Plain and simple. We're down here somewhere that I probably already scrolled over. Nope, we've got a couple more down here. Where are we? Right there. So we definitely need to score some more goals. Goals against, 260 something. So our defense improved massively, right? We are in the bottom, what was that, bottom 6 of the league, or I guess top 6, whichever way you want to look at it. But power play percentage, oh boy, 18%. Yeah, that's not good. Maybe we'll have to change that around once we look towards the playoffs here. So penalty kill percentage, 80%. That's good. Wow. Top 5, I'll take that. let's continue on here. What's our records here? So yeah, 23-15-3 at home, 20-16-5 away. Last 10, 8-1. So we're in a good streak here, heading towards the playoffs. But of course, as we know, we have to wait for an opponent here, which should be any day here, the Philadelphia Flyers. So let's go take a quick look at their team and see what these guys are up to. They don't have Sean Couturier as he is on Anaheim, but who else do they have? They have a squad. So Giroux on that first line, Patrick, Riley Smith, Buznevich, Hintz, and Konechny. Farabee on that third line for some weird reason. With why is he on the third line? That is very strange as a player who's going more than point per game. You know, that's kind of questionable. I know they probably just best lines it, but yeah, we'll have to watch out for that third line scoring threat, if you want to call it that. So Provorov is their only kind of superstar defenseman. I know you got Tony D'Angelo in there, and a couple of lower 80s overall. Nate Schmidt, who we had a couple of years ago, or was it last year? I think it was. Yeah, it was last year. No, 2 years ago. Either way, though, he found his home in Philadelphia. So I'd definitely have the edge in the defensive department. And if you even want to look at the forwards, I'd say we definitely have the advantage here. So who's in goal for them? Is it still Carter Hart? No, it's not. It's Robin Lehner, which is very interesting, which performed pretty well this year. So backing up some young guy scratch. They have Radulov scratch and a couple other guys that are scratched as well. So I'm pretty hopeful, right? This is probably the, I would say, worst team we've ever faced in the first round of the playoffs. And that's hard to say because we've faced off against some really good teams. So we're not going to take them lightly. And of course, we're going to try to adjust our power play heading in to the playoffs, but it's going to be a good one as we're in great form. So, but that's going to be it for today's video. You know, we back in the playoffs, right? We made a huge risk getting all the players that we did, and of course with our starting goaltender going out, then we're in a tough spot. So, and if you did enjoy, hit that like button down below if you haven't yet, or if you're brand new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button down there as well. Turn on those post notifications so you never miss an upload, and don't forget, you can always change your mind later. But as always, guys, we'll see you in the next one in time for the playoffs.